BJ's best.
Welcome back to our
Yeah.
personal segments after a couple of weeks away with our guests. And you know, I don't want to I don't want to necessarily take too much time away from what I had intended to talk about, but I just happened to notice Drew got a new setup. You've ditched me. You're no longer just down the road from me. You're half a half a country away now almost. And so I love the setup. He's got the pillows, the Lowdown pillows up above him on either side of him, and so. But Drew, you left, and suddenly there's been a whole lot of stuff developing here locally in at least in the world of radio. I don't know if you saw this. I know
Oh,
we had Reg and Kevin Gray on from 105.3 The Fan a couple weeks
mhm,
ago.
we did.
They're at the Fan, and the Fan has been, at least ratings wise, chasing a little station here in the Metroplex called The Ticket
Hmm.
for a long time. They've been trying to catch up to them in the ratings. Well, there's been a little bit of controversy, if you will, with the little ticket.
Mhm.
Monday, they're well, I guess you go backtrack and go back to a little over a month ago. I mean, I'm sure you remember the name Norm Hitzkiss, do you not?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he was, he's been a broadcast, like staple house here in the Metroplex, a legend. He was, almost 50 years talking sports on the radio across a couple different radio stations here in the Metroplex. Well, he announced his retirement. He's been at the Ticket since about 2000 now, I guess. So it's been 20 plus years there. And that obviously marked a change in what had been the lineup of shows for a long time, and there's been a lot of trying to figure out who's going to be next. They haven't made any official announcements as to what's going to happen with his time slot. What if they're going. He had a co-host named well, you should know who his co-host is. uh, East Texas State Lion public address announcer Donovan Lewis.
Tom Lewis.
Yeah, Donnie.
Yeah.
He's got kind of the invasion spotlight now. It is his show. Or I mean, he and his producer now are kind of tag team hosting in Norm's stead. But they always at noon. The show goes from 10 to noon, and at the end of their show, they do a segment of crosstalk where they'll go into the next segment of show, which is a show called The Hang Zone from noon to 3. And it
Mhm.
has Dan McDowell and Jake Kemp as the hosts. Well, Monday, Dan and Jake resigned from the Ticket after a couple of weeks of not being on air. Reportedly it was that they were on vacation, and then they were on like getting ready for Cowboys training camp, which begins here not too long.
About a week.
But after a week or two of vacation, and they still weren't on air, for most, if not all of this month, people rightfully have been, questioning like, where's Dan and Jake? And if you look at social media, I pulled some screen caps to share. Let's see if I can find it just kind of what the uh, what this week has entailed. The news came out Monday that they had resigned, and so it looks at least that they're done. But what you see from social media would seem to be a little bit different. You can look at their
Mhm.
official Twitter retweeting Saquon Barkley's tweet. It is what it is.
Ooh.
You got one of the co-hosts there also retweeting it. I believe all three hosts, in fact, yeah. See right there in the middle, Dan McDowell retweeting that. But it may not be necessarily the end of their time at the Ticket, as evidenced by one of their former co-hosts, Bob Stern's Twitter. He retweeted, and see if you can recognize the importance of this picture. Drew, do you recognize that chair and that door by chance?
Yes, but I can't remember what it's from.
That is the chair that was placed in front of DeAndre Jordan's door when, after it looked like he was going to sign with the Mavericks, his Clippers teammates convinced him to stick around in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that obviously, I don't know, everybody speaks in coded messages. Sturm also tweeted, "I've always been an optimist," with a GIF of Ted Lasso pointing to a sign saying "Believe."
Maybe
So
they weren't getting what they wanted, and now they are, since they actually were leaving. And they're like, "Oh, we didn't think you were actually leaving. We'll give you what you want."
here's the last little bit of coded, a little bit of coded tweet. What does that mean? I'm not a Mac Miller fan, so I'm not sure if I can properly attribute what that would be saying.
Yeah. I don't know on that one. I'd have to check the comments because it's probably got something to do with one of his songs that I can't think of the title of.
Okay. Well, at any rate, so that's kind of the extent of it, is that there's a lot of swirling rumors. The official word, at least right now, from what was being reported, is that they've resigned because of contract negotiations falling through. But the people on the internet and some of their colleagues over at the Ticket are comparing this more to the Zach Martin holdout as opposed to, the show coming to an end. And like you said, maybe this is something that they had to show how serious they are about whatever they're negotiating by essentially resigning. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with all of this, because this would be, I think, more changes to this one station in a month than they've had at any one point in the nearly 30 years that they've been on the air. So a little bit of DFW radio intrigue here for BJ's Best this week, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It obviously, at least for me, when you look at some of the other former Ticket hosts that are no longer on the Ticket, you point right at 97.1, which used to be the Eagle but is now the Freak.
Yeah.
If they're not coming back to the Ticket, watch out. I mean,
go in there. Yeah.
It very easily could be somebody over there that they will be replacing. Maybe the morning show over there. I don't know. The ratings for the Freak are nowhere close to either the Fan or the Ticket. But keep poaching some of the Ticket's best talent, and maybe that will see a rise over there at the Freak. But
sure is
it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, Drew.
Indeed. Okay, that's another good edition of BJ's. Oh, I cut him off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that.
Wrap up your thing.
That is BJ's Best.
There you go. Do your thing.